Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Monday. It's December the 11th. This will be our chart lesson for the day, and it really is an uptrend. We really were trending up trend all day, but notice how we're above the EMA, below, above, below, above, below, above, below. By this time, you could kind of figure out it was an uptrend. Prior to that, this is just sideways action. You got a clear low down here, um, a clear high up here, and a midline right in here. You can see prices working both sides of that line. And so once we were headed higher, this should have been your target. And notice that it's still about 10 minutes before the market closed. And look, that's exactly where we're at. Either way, we're probably going to find resistance here because here's the upper side of your trend channel. We could push through there, who knows? But uh, my guess is we probably pretty much topped out here. So you had a couple of different ways to find this target. Um, I would have first of all measured these first two legs, and then once we started higher from here, look where that puts you, right there, right where we're at. And then if you just measured uh, the two tiers here and looked for a third one, puts you right there as well. So you got that same target. Notice that we turned down here, so that lets you know that this channel is probably in play, um, and it's probably accurate. And so that would have, once you touch this line, that would be my target regardless, especially when you're getting that same level two different ways. I measure it two different ways, we get that same target. Um, but yeah, it turns out it's just a two-tiered channel trending up all the way, although it was range-like as well. Really, up until we bounced here, it pretty much was all uphill after that. But that was simply because we were seeking out these two targets up here, most likely. Um, few trades early, not much not much in the afternoon. Um, but let's talk about the trades. We'll wrap it up. I'm doing this a little early today. Try to get done a little bit early. Um, so we'll see. We'll still be here when the market closes. There's about 5 minutes left. Looks like it's about 3:03, so maybe about 12 minutes left in the market before the market closed. So, but let's just go ahead and talk about the trades. That's already into 3 o'clock, but we'll see how we'll take a look at it at the end just to see what it looks like. But first trade I saw was right here. Notice we bounced here. We're just going sideways here. Very tight, low volume range, and prices dropped out. So you get a failed break lower. You don't have a very good signal bar here. This one looks a little better. Um, and this is basically a double top. So that's like a pullback first entry, pullback second entry. I would have liked it better if it broke lower, but this is support, and you can see it's still holding. We haven't had a close below that line yet, and you can see where that was support from from Friday's trading. So that's an important level. And when you get that little a lower high there, it didn't break lower, but it's still a second entry based on the way this is set up here. Uh, Turns out to be a nice trade. And then this was the better entry. Uh, this was the better entry here. This was your failed second entry short. Notice what happens. First entry short, pull back second entry short. You don't want to be going short right into that support resistance line right there. So when you get that higher double bottom and a failed second entry short, you really get the second entry short here, but it doesn't break higher till here, so it's still the same trade. And then even better was when you get another higher low where it comes back and tests that line yet again, and you can see it go higher. And that was so if you're not in here, I wouldn't have any problem getting in here, and I wouldn't even have any problem adding on here. But if you're not in by here, definitely get in here because we're probably going to here, and we may get that measured move. There's your first leg. Second leg, that puts it right up in here, and we actually went higher than that. And that's because it turns out this is a channel, but at that point, this is just looking very rangy. So, and then of course and you could probably argue for this right here to be green. I didn't mark it, but we're a little bit away from the EMA. It's been a range day. Um, and you got a failed break higher. Only thing is you don't have a lot of resistance across there to kind of drop down here. But if you know how to find these measured moves, and if, you measure this, and you look for this second one, and that would have been my target based on the highs here and the lows here, and that's exactly where we go to. And then if we went higher again, then there's your next target, and you can see we're almost to the close, and you're still got about uh, 9 minutes left, and that's right where we're at, right at that target. So that's why I like that possible short here. It's a little bit aggressive. You're better off to wait on a lower high, which comes here, and this one is very close to being red. The only reason I made it green is you notice there's some congestion there. This is not quite a doji, but it's close, and there's at least 4 bars stacked up there. It is a failed second entry. Notice that new high, pull back first entry, pull back second entry. So it is a failed second entry long. So it's and it's only 3 ticks. I mean, it's real close. You could argue for it to be blue if you wanted, but because of that congestion and all, and then of course you're looking for a measure. Shoot, I absolutely never grab the right line. Never fails. But anyway, you measure that first leg, then you're looking for a measured leg, and it brings you back down here. But I would also draw this line off these highs and pull it down. And when you got the bounce right there, I like going long there. And that's really 2 legs down, so that's a second entry long, nice bullish bar. On this chart, it's technically not a second entry long because of these little pushes here, but you can clearly see that's a leg down, a correction, and another leg down. So it still fits the criteria. It's a higher low than these last lows, and it's 2 legs down. And generally, that's the middle of your pattern. So measure that, and then look for a measured leg, and you can see that's right where you get to. So, and if you catch this, you got runners. You ride this all the way up. This looks a lot like a reversal pattern. Look how we shot right through. And if the channel's correct, we're headed here. At the very least, we're probably headed back to these highs. So that's why I don't like that one. You look at all that sideways action. It is a bounce off the EMA reversal type pattern, but it's right into those highs. So wait on at least a true reversal, which let me get this out of the way, which comes right here. But again, it's right into those highs, and it could be that this range is going to hold. So you got to be really careful going long there. So I'm not crazy about that one. So really, if you don't catch this entry down here, this is very risky up through here. And at this point, when you get a close outside this little short-term trend, and it moves to a new high, and that you could treat that now like a failed break higher, because look, you bounced, you turned down there once, twice, 3 times. So that's, you can treat that like being that far away from the EMA. You probably want to wait on the lower high. So I'm going to make that one green. And you do get your lower high right here. The only problem is you're right back into this support resistance line. You're right into the midline on this channel, if that channel is correct. And by the time we turn down here, you really know that this channel is probably in play. And so that gives you, because it is off the high of the channel, you expect you're at least coming back to here, but you probably are coming all the way back to here. But so if you got in here, it would have worked. But here's your true failed second entry long, and notice how it failed. It pushed through that EMA and pulls back and just keeps going higher. But that's most likely because you got all these targets up here. And so, and it looks like we're still trying to go a little bit higher yet. So, right where it goes there. So that was the last trade of the day. And that's why I don't like these after 2 o'clock. You get more, you get fooled more often after 2 o'clock, and this is one of them. So yeah, if you went short there, but by the time you went short there, notice all those bars stacked up. So that would have been a concern right into the EMA. but that still looks really bearish on that reversal pattern off that trend line coming off the high here, headed down. But in the end, this is your target and your other, two or three different ways. And even though it looks like it's going from here to here, this is just one of those that fool you, and that's what they do. I mean, that's how you get fooled and tricked. I mean, even a good trader can get tricked on that one if if you're not looking at all the different aspects here. So generally, I like trading in the morning. And if this is a range day, most of your entries are going to be off the lows, and you can see they're all your best entries are off the lows. Notice how these are mostly green. And then going long right into those highs is never a good thing generally. Even though it works here, it's generally not a good thing on a range type day. And all your evidence, you're continually back and forth above and below the EMA. Really, once you got to here, you did push through a little bit, but really from about 11 o'clock on, it was mostly uphill. And prices could be heading for another target if you measure this one. Obviously, I don't think we're going to get there because there's not going to be enough time. But you can see that target at 26.66, but that means you got to push through this channel top too as well. So there's still maybe 8 minutes to go. So there's still time for this to go up there, I guess. If it pushed on through, it might hit some stops and run on up there. But my guess is we'll pull back in here in this channel before it's over. But you never know. So, but anyway, that's what I saw today. And again, I'm trying to get this done a little bit earlier today. So just trying to think if there's anything else critical. That's not much else you can say about that. Just remember, it was all up and down, back and forth above and below the EMA till about right here. And even though we pushed through slightly, most of the afternoon we were above the EMA. Really from about 11 o'clock on, we were all above the EMA. So then you got to be a little bit more careful about trading it both ways. You want to stay with the trend. Once you know it's trending, you're better off to stay with the trend. Again, I really thought we'd come down here and bounce off this lower trend line either way, but didn't happen. And that's the whole idea, is to fool you. So that's another reason I don't like to trade. You'll see more of these tricks and failures that don't seem to follow through in the afternoon than you do in the mornings. I don't know why that is, but I mean, that could just be, I've never run any data to prove that. That's just my experience based on watching it for a long, long time. So, you got to be careful going on what you just think. You always want some evidence to back it up, and I don't really have that. But my experience is it's easier to trade in the mornings than it is in late in the afternoons. The market just seems to do more oddball things after 2 o'clock, really after 1 o'clock, after lunchtime. So, but anyway, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. Actually, one other thing I will say, I'm not sure when I'm taking off yet. I usually will take off the last 2 weeks of the year, so I will probably trade all this week and maybe a day or two into next week, 18th and 19th, and then I may not even trade those days. But if the market's moving, I may trade Monday and Tuesday, and that will probably be it. And I'll probably take off for vacation until January 1st, which falls on a Monday, so I'll probably be back in here then. But just to kind of give you a heads up so you know what's going on. You never know what the market will do during these last 2 weeks, but generally the professional traders all take the last 2 weeks of the year off. And generally there's not a lot of volume and things like that. You never say never because you don't know what the market's going to do. And if you want to trade those days, it's probably okay other than maybe a day or two in here, like these last couple of days in here. But you can always come in and watch it and sim trade it if you need that experience, because you want to see the market do everything that it'll do. So the more times you can get in front of the screen, the better. But I'm just going to tell you, I probably won't be here. I'll be here this week for sure. And we'll just have to, towards the end of the week, I'll let you know about Monday and Tuesday. And Monday and Tuesday might just be play it by ear. So, but definitely Monday and Tuesday will probably be my last day or two to work. And I'll take the rest of the year off. So, all right. So let's wrap it up. I'm done for today. We'll be back again to do it tomorrow. This is Mac with priceactiontrading system.com, and we'll see you next time.